Alright, it's another video from the Voice Shorts Club. You got Myth, you got Kaichou,
Hello?
and you got Jerry.
Oh,
Alright, so going into game 4 of our show match, so we got Kaichou whipping back the Copium 8 Pants list, and Jerry's gonna run back the 8 Gate list that he's got. So we're gonna go ahead and get this one rolling. So we've seen these two lists in the previous games already. All 5 decks have been completely, or all 3 decks from both sides have been completely exposed. So going into this game, Kaichou, what are you thinking about that's a little bit scary coming out of this 8 Gate build? Just general things that you're like, oh, this could be a problem for me if I don't get it in my way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 8 pants, it's kind of a solitaire deck, not gonna lie. There's nothing really boring me about Jerry's deck. It's more like, can I play my own game of like getting 4 events? Yeah, not die. It's basically the game plan. This deck does have the consistency issues that we're trying to solve, and playing at least like 2 games with this deck already, or 1 game, I guess. I got like a little bit more of an idea how to play it. There's definitely some issues with the deck building, which I realized later. But can't really change decks until after. So at this point, I just gotta hope with my ratios and get a little bit lucky sometimes.
Yep. And then Jerry, kind of on the other side of this match, I know that this deck is all about just like trying to stock charge early, but is there anything that you're thinking about that Kaichou can do? Is it just like oh, you're trying to rush him in the early game so that he doesn't have as much time to set up the 4 events in memory, or is this basically like kind of 2 solitaire players essentially kind of trying to figure out how to play the game?
At this point here, I just want to make sure he eats damage because torching defensively is scary. Oh,
Yeah.
not scary. I wouldn't say scary. It's more like a bit of an annoyance because, like, if we were somehow to eat more damage than they do, and they keep torching out the clean cards out effectively, then it's gonna be just a bit of an annoyance just to catch up in damage here.
Yep. I mean, especially considering that for the most part your deck is a little less about like kind of explosive amounts of damage, and it's more about like just kind of building advantage on your own and then making like really big boards at level 2, because ideally you can get like multiple Miyuki changes, and if you do that then you just kind of run away with the board at level 2.
Yeah, basically, just build like a fortress at level 2. Hopefully, just sit on it for like until level 3.
Alright, nice little quick flip, get it back. A little bit awkward though, because that is 2 of your Miyukis, one in the bottom of your stock and one that's about to go to your damage, but I imagine that you have a few of them.
I do have options. I do have the 2-1 Adachi.
Yeah.
That also plays for a 0 stock if I have a full board.
Mm.
Yeah, as like a little alternative in case I don't have the other 1-0. But yeah, having that 1-0 going to the damage is gonna be a little bit annoying just because we're gonna be 2 out. Well, technically 1 out permanently because that 1-0 Miyuki is on the very bottom of the stock there unless I don't pay it out.
Yeah, and with the way that your deck works, like paying out stock is kind of gonna take forever unless you don't get too many gate combos off.
Yeah. To be fair, I can like spend my stock willy nilly. To be fair, or to be honest, as long as we keep looping the gate, the level 0 gate, then stock isn't too much of an issue because theoretically we should have 2 free brainstorms every turn if we keep looping the combo. But in this case here, kind of forced to try to scope out the level 1 early in this case. But fortunately here we do cancel, so we can actually grab that later. Have a chance to grab it later. So it's not too bad here.
Getting a couple of sick cancels here, although your gates are kind of also getting hit as a result.
Yeah,
But
yeah. unfortunately the combo gates too. So at this point here, we're just trying to see if we could just grab another gate somehow.
Yeah, and this is a little bit awkward for your deck because a lot of your level 1s are primarily green, so kind of going into level 1 and only having red means that you're committing to playing the gate, which is the go-to, but it means that you won't be able to contest the Kaguya. Admittedly, you might not care too much about it at this point in time.
No, not as much. Fortunately, we do play the KJCs, which we can play without color requirement. So having those on board would be having those on board is nice. Also, as a secondary option, in case we only have red, in case we clock red or leveled up red, and not play another green character. So having JC is very much ideal here. Also just helps saves another card too in case I want to play another playable and for next turn as well.
Yeah, lets you save one of your zeros in case you do end up getting a little reverse in one of the lanes because Kaichou doesn't do anything about it. Little climax swap, just get your gate back.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 combos. So
in hindsight, this new climax swap from set 2, it's very good, but in hindsight, probably not good for this particular build because it is an it's an on play and an on death climax swap. This probably would have been better if it was playing like bar or something, bar or pants, just so that on the cross turn here, if it dies on the cross turn, I can at least pay off. I can make use of that on death effect and get a climax swap then and there. But in hindsight, probably the set 1 climax swap would have been a lot better here.
But go ahead, slam at the gate, just stock up 2 rando cards.
Yeah.
So, Kaichou, do you remember what events are? I know you obviously have the torch, but like, do you have any of the other 1/1s kind of laying around in your hand, or is it basically just kind of flying by the whatever the deck is giving you at this point, in terms of just kind of getting closer to that eventual event climate X combo?
Yeah, so this game is kind of doomed because the 1/1 sword event is in waiting, and I triggered one second stock. I don't play a bonder, so I am playing with one event in the deck. You also see the Miko bonder in my clock, so it's actually really hard for me to get the other 2 1/1s. So at this point, I was just trying. Hopefully, I draw it by level 3. Because yeah, my bonders are all out, and these events are like stuck in places that I can't really grab because of the bonder not being there.
I mean, you only took one of the swings, so you're not too worried about anything. And then you saw that Jerry's got a climax at the top, so his coin flip and his mill runner are both pretty much locked out. So you do have the luxury of just trying to get to that endpoint.
Yeah, trying to see if I can pay out this 1/1.
And then to help you with getting to those events, I believe you play on reverse blind stock Kaguya's. Is that what I saw in your waiting
Yeah, I
room
play
just
2
now?
copies in the deck. The card never comes up because I don't think you just have time to play it. a lot of the times, because you have to grab combo,
Yeah.
and I'd rather grab like the pan support eye. And so like the blind stalker is like nice, but it's not usually something
Kind of a win
I go
more
for.
card for your deck, more rather than
Yeah,
a
it's something you
core
can probably
part.
cut out of the deck.
But, getting a little bit of mileage out of this. Miko PR though, that was always something that you can.
Yeah, being a free mill 2 is pretty nice.
It's a mill 2 that can potentially mill infinite if you commit to it, but still pretty solid stuff here. Let's see, so if I remember correctly, so that's climax at the top. I believe, Jerry, you're out 4 more in the waiting room because you did hit one off the brainstorm, you double canceled.
Yeah, like around 4 or 5 here, I do believe. And we did reveal the climax of the coin flip here. Saving grace of revealing a climax that we don't have to mill it off with the mill runner.
I mean, it's a free cancel. You're not gonna pass it up, considering that your deck really does kind of shine when you get to stay at these low levels, right? Because then you slam a gate, build stock.
Yeah, just building resources here. And if we build too much stock here, we can actually pay 3 just to bring back a attacker for next turn.
Yep. So then, I mean, this board state's not too crazy. Like, you do have the luxury of being able to potentially use a JC plus a climax to break over the Kaguya if you need to. You can definitely kind of reap out the other 2 lanes.
Yeah, this case here, like all we need is one JC and a climax, and we can't break over Kaguya. Luckily, he doesn't play any other cards that helps him gets more power. In this case, he doesn't play the pants fix. Gets 500 to all. So
Okay, this little double brainstorm.
yeah.
A little bit awkward that there was 8 clean off the top, but it's 8 clean that isn't damaged, so.
Yeah. So it's a good blessing. Also helps me trigger more gates. In this case, I think I was starting for some cards here, so triggering some gates here would have been nice as well. Because there were a couple cards in that waiting room where I do need. In this case, that level 1 Miyuki there.
Yep.
So triggering gates here, it would not be the worst thing that happened here.
And then being able to also abuse this Miko PR. This PR is absolutely like disgusting.
Yeah.
The fact that you get, like I just said, 2 free top checks and then potentially more, or if you salvage it off its own effect, pretty nuts stuff. Getting 3.
Yeah.
I do question why you didn't play it first before you brainstorm, though. Since you played it after and you checked the climax.
Like we said.
This year, I think because then there were cards in my hand. I kind of wanted to use the sack. I think at that point I wanted to use the sack effect, but there were cards in my hand I cannot let go. So I was trying to see if I can grab other cards. I can just grab other cards I can use as like a pitch target for the Miko.
Yeah, but the unplay effect is free, right? So it doesn't matter. You always mill the top card and then you brainstorm. So it doesn't change your hand size. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
A little bit of just small spaghetti, but that's why we're here, getting better, kind of reviewing these games. Let's see, so. I mean, in theory, if Jerry, you decide to swing twice, you could, in theory, just stock 3 if you had a gate and then just call it a day. You care more about developing the stock, and because you only hit the 2 off of the brainstormer, and then
technically I could, but also wanted to push a little bit more damage here as well, because I think here I don't think I had the climax here, so which is why I was thinking whether I should swing 3 here or not, because if I had the climax I definitely would have just popped the climax here.
Yep.
I just swing 2 anyways. There was the client. Yeah, okay.
A little unfortunate,
Well,
but you
to
did get
yeah,
this.
yeah. Like I said, triggering gate's not the worst thing here. So I did need cards, so
Yeah, I think I also noticed he had a 0-0 Miyuki in hand. He opted to not play.
Yep,
Any
but
thoughts on that?
probably to preserve hand size. Cause I did have to brainstorm just because I can have cards in hand. But yeah, I think here I didn't want to like play over my brainstorm just cause I wanted to swing 3 cards here. I think that was my thought process then. Not sure if it was the right play or not.
it's a
Because
little.
if you swing more, you're more likely to trade order, and then you get the hand back.
Yeah.
But then the
Yeah,
problem
but
is that those are doors that are in his stock, which he'll. I mean, he could pay 3 if he wanted to, but
yeah, but in this case here, we kind of need to start getting to level 2 here.
bit of a risk play. There's risk and rewards going both ways, but we'll see how it plays out. Let's see. So, I mean, good Joe. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. As far as I'm concerned here, maybe if you have additional torches that you wanna crop up, you could grab them. But do you have any particular things that you were looking for at this point in time? Uh,
Not really. I was trying to like fill waiting room. There's like not really much I can do to dig because I don't think I. Well, I did grab an events, so I can probably just like dig for more events, but like digging into a fresh deck is like kind of sus sometimes. So probably just chill for a bit.
your deck is also pretty decently sized, considering you refreshed. You have 2, one in the clock, one in the waiting room. I think one in the hand, and from what it looks like, but huh? But like you said, you don't necessarily have to play the pants unless you care about getting that extra, um, the extra torch.
Yeah.
Let's see. But so like, just recalling from what we were talking about earlier, Kaichou, you said that the 1/1 sword event is the event that you were gonna have a bit of a tricky time getting into your hand because there was one triggered and then
Try the second one.
there's the second one and
Yeah, so I just didn't have. I don't play the bond of that card, so I just don't have it. Because now I have to wait for the next deck rotation to get it.
after paying it out and
Yeah.
and stuff, so it'll be a little bit rough. But a nice little level 2 for Jerry. So you do have the option if you do want to just start setting up the wall if you need to, but otherwise, there's.
I think in this instance here, I did get it off. I only got 1 off here. Got 1 off here because I only had 1 target in hand. So yeah, I did do this. Also lets me level swap, so I can fulfill that condition if I ever need it.
Yep.
Well, to be fair, the pay 2 burn 2 is still pretty hefty. Still pretty hefty cost. So at this point here, playing Miyuki here as only as a vanilla healer.
Yeah.
At least a very, very one-stock healer here, so pretty nice.
And then it's also not too bad considering that you do have like JC, you have other cards that can help you kind of make sure that Miyuki stays around.
Yeah. Having a JC is also nice. In case I grab the event again, I can I have another Miyuki to bring out if I ever want to do it again.
Another
here.
stock charge.
Or stock charge here. The Ishigami finally gets to
He finally
get
gets
to eat the
shown.
Ishigami. Yeah. Ishigami's been there for 2 turns, I believe.
But for the most part, like kind of going into this like mid game, are you just kind of like going for these stock charges and then making plays based off of how your deck is? Is there any like proactive plays that you're looking towards, like say
So,
digging for event and trying to wall, for example?
uh, considering how this is still the first draft, my only thought process was like, oh, I'll bring out these Miyukis and I'll just use their effects and do as much damage as I can. Basically, just keep piling on damage after damage.
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah,
that's
just so
what
I
you
can
do.
yeah, just so I can get them to turbo up to just to turbo them to like level 3 or so. Or basically, just eat a lot, and then have to like somehow like
It throws them off their game a little bit if they're taking damage a little bit
yeah,
faster than expected.
yeah, that's what we're trying to do at the very least. But in this case here, which is why we were very was why we played the level 0 column, which is to build more stock for it. But in hindsight, it's still pretty hefty cost, at least for the set 2 Miyuki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, because you don't run high socket drop searcher as your balance choice in this deck, you don't care as much about using Kaguya finisher. Like, she's a healer and she does get pay one burn
Yeah,
one, which is nice,
if
but you're not going out of your way to win the
no, I'm
game
not.
with pay one burn ones.
Yeah, it's for sure. The Kaguya is just there as like a healer, and like she just so happens to be a pay one burn one, and her comics comes out of gate, and that's basically it. I had known like I already know like going into this like I'm not gonna play Hayasaka just cause like it's kind of nah.
it's not it's not practical for this deck
It's
state.
not it's not practical for this deck state, and also just cause we already chose as our we already chose to opt for like plussing level zeros here, so that's why we chose the K mill the K runner instead.
Yep. So Kaichou, kind of going into this level 2 turn, what's kind of going through your head in terms of like things that you still need to find? Like we were talking about earlier, you still do need to find a way to get the event in the next deck rotation for the sword event. It looks like you're about to grab the bonder for the other one from what it looked like there for a moment, but looks like you might be just going for level 1 combo.
Yeah, there's like a lot of options I can do here since I like cancel a lot of attacks. There's also another problem is that I don't have yellow. So even if I did have the
Oh,
Musashi, it's gonna be super hard to play since I only played 3 yellow. Uh, so it's just a lot of scoping I have to do, like the events, scope for the 3/2 Kaguya, like search or scope for colors. I think that I had a little bit of trouble here in the mid game, like decide what I need. At this point, I think I just opted to play 4 vanilla heals with the Kaguya because I don't think I was able to get, or I don't think I'm gonna get all 4 events by level 3. So I'm just trying to play for good compression and just swing here.
okay. So then using torch, help you grab a couple cards. It looks like a potential double level 1 combo could be in the works. Could be a stock swap, actually, because you do know that he generated 5 clean stock last turn, so a little bit of disruption goes a long way. But you do choose that. Let's see. Draw ditch.
You were still running the 2/1 Miyuki that lets you play events without color as well, right?
Yeah. But I'd rather use actually never play the card on the board. The card is actually just straight up useless.
He just kind
Yeah,
of didn't show up when you actually wanted him to get
it's
value.
it's because the moment you're trying to get him, you're better off getting a better card to play. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that card is just one of the first cards going out of the deck.
Like,
kind of feels a little extra just to have a card that lets you play another card, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I milled
That
2
does,
Miko
yeah.
events there, which is unfortunate. It's one of my level. So yeah, so I'm the game plan of playing Kaguya top end for burn is like gone. So at this point, we're just trying to maybe play Masashi. Maybe we'll get yellow eventually, but I only play 3 yellow, so which means I have to have a event or a bonder, so I can play the other one. So it's just a little sus all over with the deck building strategy there. I didn't really value the Masashi event when I was initially deck building, but after like a few games, that event's just too good.
So good that. Would you say that and Torch would be maxable, or would you say you still probably stick to maybe 3 and a bonder, essentially playing 4, but just a different ratio on them? Like, what, having played through a couple of games, what do you see as like the ideal like event ratio, essentially, like in order to get consistent finishers?
I think 3 Masashi is fine. It's probably like 4 Torch, 3 Masashis, 3 Miko, and like 2 of the sword. And you play the sword bonder. You play Ishigami bonder because that bonder's actually cracked. It's 4K. Maybe you don't play the Miko event bonder, and yeah, I think that would be probably fine if you want to like maximize your consistency. Uh, you could play 3 swords. That's like a little too much, but maybe if you want to just like all in the combo, like 3 swords, like 4-3-3-3 is like fine. But that's, obviously that's like 13 cards or 13 events.
On
So
top
it's
of
like,
like, the 4 or the 8 climaxes, the climax combo itself, so that's
yeah,
21
like
cards.
yeah, it's like plus 16, right? 16 plus 13
13,
is
29.
29. It's like, yeah, you don't, and then like plus 2 bonders, so it's like 31.
And
You don't
then
really have
like
enough.
you have to play Chica, you have to play Hestia in order to like get
Yeah,
real maximization on these. So it's like,
but maybe that is just the way to play this deck. I'm like down to try it out after I finish like testing my other builds, but maybe just a build where you just max all these cards, like in Danmachi, just max out the events, or like the most of the events, play some bonders, just focus on the game plan of trying to get these events uh, as fast as possible, and then gotta see how that goes.
all right. So going into level 3 here, Jerry, like what are you kind of like going for at this point? Are you like just trying to get 2 healers and then call it a day? Or are you trying to still
At this
try and
point,
wall up here?
we're just trying to go for a game at this point. We didn't build enough stock as we like. Build enough stuff as we like, and at this point here, I'm just trying to scope my hand just so like, or just grab like other level 3 cards. In this case, either grab Kaguya or the Clock Kicker. At this point,
Yeah.
so I think here we grab something, or we can just grab like another event. Would have been nice
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
just
Yeah, because
get
then
change.
yeah, get the change, and also it's cheaper to play.
Yep. So
Yeah, but in this case here, I do believe that we grabbed the Clock Kicker off one of the brainstorms here. And yes, we did.
and then
So unfortunately, we did not have the event, so we just had to hard play this one here. Yeah, at this point here, I was trying to finish out the game.
I mean, Kaichou is a 2/5, so in theory, it is possible. He did just refresh the deck fairly recently. There's 2 out for sure. Like,
Yeah, so it was kind of a rough position here for me, but at this point here, we're just trying to see how far we can take this here.
yep. I mean,
Yeah.
considering that 2 stock actually does help cover the cost of both effects, so you do have that
Yeah.
as a
At this point here,
luxury.
we're just trying to trigger more. We're trying to trigger gates so that way we can do full combo.
Yeah, so then
Yeah.
gonna rip another gate though, so you do have the ability to just
Yeah.
full send right here, which
Yep. definitely possible here to close out the game here.
Whew. And Kaichou, I think you still have one torch laying around in your hand. Is there any?
Oh, I have 2. It was a combo last turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't want to defend
4.
the torch here. At this point, the risk is just not it. So yeah, so I did get yellow. Unfortunately, there's an event in my clock. I think there's one in hand. Yeah, so at this point, any other deck being at this point just wins the game. Like 7 stock, like you're chilling, right? But my Kaguya's actually don't have. So at this point, we're 3 vanilla swings. Since you can't play any other like additional finisher top ends, or non-climax combo, I should say, in this deck, it's literally just like 3 healers, maybe a climax, maybe an Asashi event. If I had another one, but unfortunately I only play 2, and there's 1 o'clock. So it's like 3 swings, maybe Masashi, and that's really what the deck is at this point, because I wasn't able to just set up because the events were going everywhere but my hand, and there were no bonders either, so it was a little unfortunate.
Yeah. So, I guess going into this, you're just maximizing the heal downs. Just heal 3, maybe get the Masashi like you said, and I mean, there's definitely he's in kill range for all intents and purposes, but it's like kind of tricky because, like you said, you don't have all the tools necessarily available, and I believe that's 2 Kaguyas in the clock.
Yeah, there's 1 in hand, so like my 3s are just limited. I just clock here, just final turn anyways.
Just trying
maybe get some more cards, maybe get a climax, I think, but.
Just
I
trying
think
to
Jerry was
squeeze
still
together.
pretty compressed at this point. He just needs to like cancel like 2 attacks.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
chilling.
I mean, he doesn't have hand, which is like it turns off the interaction, so you can kind of go in without any repercussion. You know, there you go, Jerry, showing off your hands there.
Yeah, I dropped a little jazz hands there.
Yeah, so here I'm trying to like reset my deck and like somehow draw ditch the event. So the meme was there's 2 event in these like 6, 7 or 2 climaxes.
I think you ripped both of them just now, right?
No, I think I missed the draw ditch.
Oh.
So I reset my deck to try to draw the climax. Because I think I was just planning on playing all 4 events this turn, and then like draw the climax. Because at this point, it's like that or I swing 3 pass, and I can always swing 3 pass. So but the last hope to just like maybe get combo all in 1 turn. But yeah, this game was like super bad, or this turn.
Just a lot of unfortunate stuff going on because you weren't able to.
Yeah, like two of the pants were in the last 4 cards, and it was like, well,
A little bit scary here, but I mean, at this point, like,
yeah. I was actually asked if you had hand because I was gonna go to 3-6 either way, so it was a 1 clock kick into death if you had the hand.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The torch.
So yeah, that was the next year was actually just a tragedy.
Oh.
Like yeah, the play was there. I checked 4, I drew 2, and I did see it though. Just like, yep, okay. So now I have to like somehow draw ditch again, but there's like no way for me to draw unless I somehow like get another cheek and then play an event. So yeah, I refresh the climax for the 3rd time this game. You know, it happens.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You know.
Play healer.
Brainstorm.
Get some extra brainstorm targets.
Hitting another
one. I hit another one out the face at this point. I'm like, oh man, I can't anymore. Like, okay, maybe get some top checks here, right? We're chilling or something.
And then,
like, yeah, because you're not able to sculpt for your top end. Yeah, this is like just tragedy. Yeah, the game. This turn is like it was a tragedy in itself. Yeah, I wasn't able to scope like 3s either, so it was just unfortunate.
I mean, kind of what you and Jerry have been talking about throughout this show match when you guys do play this deck is that it's really tricky to torch because you have to kind of find this unusual balance between torching for next turn card playables versus torching for the future in a way because like
Just for cancel. Like,
yeah
yeah, it's for cancel or for cards.
yeah but it's like
You have to
really
get both
tricky
purple
yeah
torch. Yeah.
but I mean you get to play Musashi on Hayasaka, just go ahead and send it
It's
here.
just vanilla swings at this point. Nothing really much.
A
No climax,
two.
unfortunately. Yeah, not attacking Musashi first, but that's just RNG at this point. I trigger another pants, I just, it's always been that pants, the tragedy.
And
Like,
then
yeah, he eats the 3, which is a sad tragedy.
and then
But
the
I
two.
traded for lead though, but yeah, he still cancels. It was actually just Musashi did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he was all around just.
This one here was a little suspect on my part.
Oh
I do
yeah.
believe I pushed them both up because then on my screen I thought you were at 3-5, but
You're at 3-4, right? So
Don't
then.
worry,
Yeah,
I
he
meant
was
like
at-
30 climaxes here, dude. It was. Yeah, I still meant like 30 climaxes.
yeah, it was that little pause after he took 2. I was like, oh, he's still alive. Yeah, realizing he was at 3-4.
Yeah, that game was like going well until my events were gone, and then my deck no longer had a purpose, and I was just playing, vanilla way shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate because like when you commit to one game plan really hard and you don't have any way of like recovering from it,
Yeah,
you're
like,
kind of just stuck in the question mark realms where you don't have actual plays.
yep, might be one of those decks where you have to commit all the way, or else, why are you playing it?
Yep. But
Yeah.
Jerry, you got a pretty sick pop off though. Oh, in that mid game, almost got a little
we
bit spooked there at the end, but it's all good.
Almost got spooked. Yeah, we actually were able to play the 2-1 level 2 for once. So
Stabilization, right? So it's pretty chill.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we somehow hit it. So stick around for Game 5, guys. We're gonna watch both of these
Silver
players play.
Screams. Let's go.
We're gonna watch both of these players play Copium, and we're gonna find out who here is inhaling more.
Well, Kobe's gonna win either way, right? So.
Question is which Copium. So
Yeah.
stick around for that one, guys.